I mean, look, whose interest do central banks actually have in mind? Yours or mine? No, their own interest, and they are going to fulfill their goal. To fulfill their goal is to own it all, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort here, and that's exactly what they have become around the world. And it's really a shame as people get crushed and destroyed underneath this thing, and it's only going to get worse here. We're seeing a phenomenon occur, and it's accelerating. That is this elimination of the middle class. They're being squashed down to the lower rung of society. There's no such thing as trickle down economics. It always trickles up, and it's being forced up. The 1% and 2%ers getting richer and richer off of the back of whatever's left of the middle class. When that's done, when they're finished, like choking people to death and making sure they are squashed down to the lower rung of society, more dependent on the system, slaves to this system, that's when we're really going to see this thing get going, when I believe that implosion in the debt market is going to occur. Central banks are very crafty. They got everything really where they want it. They're pushing the world in the direction they want it to go, the population, mostly by manipulation of their minds, by not allowing them to know what's happening, by putting some kind of false figure in front of them saying, okay, this is the government. It's not. The world is not run by kings, queens, monarchs, dictators, presidents. It's the banks, and the banks have everything in their back pocket right now. The media, it's absolutely incredible what we're seeing, but this is nothing new. This is, I believe, something that a lot of people have expected to happen, but took no action against it. I've been speaking out against this very strongly for over an entire decade, and I hope I'm making a difference. I hope people are starting to wake up, but there's not enough. There's not enough people to understand how the system works, why it works, what the end game is. The end game is even bigger than what we even spoke about it, because the issue of the global debt bubble is not just a financial one. It's a resource problem. So again, we're seeing supply chain disruptions and all this minor nonsense with regard to, COVID be nothing compared to a lockup of the system. We're going to end up in a liquidity freeze, a freezing up of the system. Transactions are going to stop. That's, again, the implosion here in the debt market, because the system is debt-based. If it can't continue to acquire debt, it stops functioning. People have the faith that it's going to function. Okay, so what are central banks going to do? They're going to issue in a completely new system. So they have to kill this one first, and that's what they're in the middle of right now, before they can issue in another system. And it's going to be one of control, one of a lot of control. But unfortunately, people don't see it. They don't see where we're going. They don't understand what's happening. It's thank goodness for shows like this, so people can hear it. They can get it for themselves. And I don't want people to listen to a word I'm saying. I want them to research this stuff for themselves. Look into this for themselves. Does it ring true what I'm saying? Just let your fingers do the walk. And this stuff here is always hidden in plain sight. The agenda of central banks, what they're trying to do, why they were established. This whole thing, it's now coming to a head.